This is not a vacation. I'm asking for a week off right now. Is it yes or no?
For the last time, the answer is no.
All right, if that's how you feel about it, I quit. Get yourself another boy.
Miss Perry, get me Sam Brooke and personnel.
Most of our knowledge of the world we live in is gained through words, spoken or written. Words which are symbols for things, people, ideas, events. Some of the most crucial events in our lives involve words. Our understanding of people and events, therefore, depends upon the successful transmission or communication of these words from one person to another. Yet, strangely enough, many of us handle this important and complex process incorrectly. The film you are seeing is a dramatization of three major factors in person-to-person communication. Take that scene in the office. Has that ever happened to you or someone you know? What you caught was the last round of a fight that never should have taken place. Why was there a fight? Because Mr. Lewis, the boss, and Bob Wheeler, the employee, carried on a conversation without even listening to each other. We spend much of our business life in conversation, which normally should be a kind of person-to-person communication. But sometimes things go wrong. Let's turn back the clock and see what led to the disagreement between Mr. Lewis and Bob Wheeler.
Come in.
Could I see you for a minute, Mr. Lewis?
Oh, sure, Bob. Come on in. Everything all right downstairs?
Oh, everything's fine. We just shipped that order to South Bend.
How about the Woodson order? Did you get that out?
Yes, sir. We shipped that out express this morning.
Oh, fine. What's on your mind, Bob?
Well, Mr. Lewis, I'd like a week off. Now, I know...
Who's talking? Oh, Barney, yeah. Yeah, I called you, but I'm tied up. Okay, go ahead. Yes, of course. I want the payroll out early on account of the holiday. Well, put your people on overtime. Don't worry, I'll take the responsibility. Oh, sorry, Bob. Now, what were you saying? Something about your vacation?
No, I said I wanted to take a week off. Well, you see, it's an emergency, and I've got to get up north right away. I've got a wire from my brother's attorney, and...
How can I give him a week off
I've got to be
now?
in court next week.
He knows we've got a backlog of orders to ship. I guess it's true. No matter how long a man works for you, all he thinks about is himself. Never occurs to him that we're running a business here.
Okay, and maybe I can use some of my vacation time and still settle the details of the family estate. Well, what do you say, Mr. Lewis? Can I take off at quitting time?
I don't know. Jack Harmon is away on his vacation. There are all those new parts to be packaged and routed. You know how important it is to get those orders out on time, and that there be someone there all the time. Keep pushing
He tell me to leave now.
You also know that we...
Doesn't he understand this is an emergency, not a pleasure trip?
But this is an emergency. Now, if it were just an ordinary vacation trip, I'd understand, but it isn't.
I've got to stay with that vacation schedule, and we'll never get through the summer. Wheeler thinks he can move things around to suit himself. Well, he'll find out it's not so.
Now, everything seemed okay, but yesterday she called me and said that he'd taken a turn for the worse. I've just got to go.
Uh-huh. What was that?
I've just got to go.
I'm sorry, I can't change that vacation schedule without tying up the whole plant.
But this is very important to me and my family.
Important, eh? He's no more important than anybody else around here. There's going to be no favoritism, and he'll learn that before he leaves this office.
I've got to leave right away.
I'm sorry, but I can't juggle that schedule at this late date. Besides, next week we need you for that special shipment.
Shipment. That's all this joker thinks of. Well, I'll show him he can't shove me
Orders in
around.
this tight schedule, that's the way it has to be.
I've worked here for 10 years, and if you can't hire some extra help for just 1 week,
Now, wait a minute. You know I can't put the company to that expense for just one person. You'll have to wait for your regular vacation. I don't mean to be arbitrary.
So that's the treatment I get around here. Well, I can always get a job with Frank Evans when I get back from up north. I'll call him. I'll give Lewis just one more chance.
But we worked out this vacation schedule perfectly, and nobody did it. It'll only be 2 or 3 weeks. Surely you can wait that long.
This is not a vacation. I'm asking for a week off right now. Is it yes or no?
For the last time, the answer is no.
All right, if that's the way you feel about it, I quit.
Get yourself another boy. Miss Perry, get me Sam Brooke and personnel.
And the company loses another good man. Why? Was it necessary for Bob Wheeler to change jobs after so many years? And was there no way for the company to avoid having to hire and train a new man? I think there was. But first, let's analyze what really happened. We know that each man was so involved with his own thoughts, he didn't even hear everything the other man had to say. This alone would have caused misunderstanding. But both men were guilty of more than just not listening. They each started to talk with a wrong picture of the other. Instead of listening directly to Bob Wheeler, Lewis tuned in on a private channel of his imagination and pictured something like this.
Change the schedule. Who cares? You'll get the work done somehow. My problems are more important than the company's.
This happens every day and may be considered normal. But during a crucial conversation, it can lead to disaster. Bob Wheeler, too, has a distorted image. This is what he assumed the boss was saying.
As far as I'm concerned, you're nothing but a cog in a machine. You'll do things my way or you'll get out. There are plenty of men waiting in line to take your job, so don't give me any of your lip.
Ridiculous, weren't they? But all of us have somewhat false ideas of other people, which we must clear up if we are to reach an understanding with them. We can do this and make good communication possible by tuning in on some things that are not actually voiced. I mean, as we listen, we can ask ourselves these 3 questions. First, what is being taken for granted? Have either of us assumed things which are not true? In other words, what preconceptions do we have that might get in the way of understanding an agreement? Second, what are the points of view? How does he see things? Do they look different to him than they do to me? Are we seeing only those points which help our own position? And are we blind to facts which might hurt it? Are we burying our heads in the sand? What feelings are coloring our thinking? To get a clear understanding of the situation, you must make an estimate of the other fellow's needs and desires, as well as your own. Are these feelings keeping us from thinking straight? Have either of us an unconscious fear or dislike of the other, which is blocking an understanding? Now let's imagine what might have happened if Mr. Lewis and Bob Wheeler had been good listeners. Let's just see if the mere process of listening with understanding makes any difference in our daily conversations. The scene is the office of the manager. The time, 10 minutes ago.
Could I see you for a minute, Mr. Lewis?
Well, sure, Bob. Come on in. Everything all right downstairs?
Oh, everything's fine. We just finished that order to South Bend.
And the Wilson order?
Yes, sir. Shipped it this morning.
Good, fine. Sit down.
Thank you.
Miss Perry, hold all calls for a few minutes, will you, please? Thank you. Now, Bob, what's on your mind?
Mr. Lewis, I'd like to have a week off. It's an emergency, and I have to go back to my old hometown.
How can I give him time off with all that work to be done next week? Yeah, that's my problem. I wonder what his trouble is.
My brother just passed away, and I've got a telegram from his attorney telling me that there's going to be a reading of the will, and I'll be needed in court.
Yes, people's problems are all the same. This reminds me of the time Dad died.
I'm terribly sorry, Bob. Is there anything I can do?
Thank you. Nothing except give me a week off.
Well, I don't know. Jack's still on his vacation, all those new parts to package and ship.
had to rely on you.
Yes, I know. I was hoping we could work something out.
Let's see if he's thought about the company's problem. The spot he'd be putting us in if he leaves today.
Any ideas, Bob?
Well, Richards has his vacation coming up on Wednesday.
Why don't you see if you could change dates with him? If he would, then you could leave Tuesday night. You could wire the attorney and have him ask for a postponement.
That sounds like good sense. And I guess I do have to consider the spot I'd be putting Mr. Lewis into if I just took off.
I'll do that, Mr. Lewis, and I think it'll work.
Well, thanks a lot for being so helpful.
That's all right. Let me know if I can do anything.
Okay.
Takes even less time, doesn't it? Just a few minutes to listen to the other person. Maybe a few questions to find out what's on his mind. We spend so much of our time in person-to-person communication. Why not learn to do it well? Remember, listening is more than just hearing the words. It means we must constantly be seeking to answer these three questions. First, what is being taken for granted by him and by me? Second, what are the points of view? How does he see things as against the way I see them? And third, what feelings are affecting our thinking? And are they getting in the way? But of all these factors, feelings stand as the major barriers to good person-to-person communication. Feelings, when out of control, cause us to say and do things we later regret. They blind us to careful observation of a situation. Feelings may force us to be stuck with a bad idea. They tend to make us rigid and inflexible in controlling our reactions to what we see and hear. In seeking to answer these three questions as we listen, we will improve our understanding of the other fellow. Our person-to-person communication is only as good as our ability to listen with understanding.